Naruto is one of the most successful and popular anime of all time. Just look at the amount of fanfiction written about it. It dwarfs any other anime series in comparison. There's over 700 episodes and 11 films to consume, and throughout all those hours of content, the anime has produced a plethora of Sakuga moments for animation fans to devour. However, the original manga is no slouch in this department either. Manga can't actually produce Sakuga since the term is exclusively used in relation to quality spikes in animation. Clickbaited, y'all! But Masashi Kishimoto is an expert in the language of layouts, and I think it's worth discussing how much proper panel construction can really elevate the material. I was first introduced to Naruto through Monthly Shonen Jump. I remember first discovering the magazine at a Blockbuster because it had Yusuke Urameshi on the cover, and as a fan of Yu Yu Hakusho, I promptly made sure to get my mom to buy it for me, especially when I noticed Dragon Ball Z was also included. It took me a while to branch out and read the other series. I can't really remember whether it was Shaman King or Naruto that I tried out first, but regardless, Naruto became my favorite of their selection, not counting the ones I was already familiar with. I didn't end up collecting a lot of the issues, but Naruto always seemed to be the series I'd most reread, so obviously I was excited when the anime came over to Toonami. Believe it! I ended up following the anime closely until Naruto lost his chance to find Sasuke because he fought on a bug. The filler was wacky. I never really got back into the anime after that, and it wasn't until last year that I finally caught up with Naruto through Viz's Shonen Jump $2 a month subscription model. It just never felt right to not have experienced the full series considering how much of a fan I was of it, and I wasn't about to deal with Shippuden's pacing. It was a nice full circle moment finishing the series in the same manner I was introduced to it, and because of that, I got to experience just how much of a master Kishimoto is when it comes to the visual language of the medium. I'll be discussing several of my favorite examples throughout the 700 chapters of Naruto, so if you haven't completed the series in some form, be forewarned, there will be spoilers all throughout. Though most examples admittedly do come from part 1, I would still proceed with caution. If you're sensitive to spoilers and haven't completed Naruto, turn this video off now. I also want to specify I'm only addressing things specific to the manga, so visual symbolism like Neji being a bird, or the Sato Clone Cavalry moment, or the blood hand-holding don't count. All of these are great in their own rights, but they can easily be adapted into the anime. I want to more focus on stuff exclusive to the medium of manga. Let's begin with the attack that led to the aforementioned blood hand-holding from chapter 698. We see the epicenter of the attack in the top and bottom panels. The top showing the collision of where Naruto and Sasuke's attack met, while the bottom shows the aftermath, which foreshadows them losing their arms. What's great here are the middle two panels, one of Naruto and one of Sasuke. The collision in the above panel is aligned with the panel break in between Naruto and Sasuke, subtly reinforcing their separation, having the collision represent their conflicting positions. So when the bottom panel follows as a blank panel, it's establishing that said conflict is finished. The barrier between the two illustrated above is gone, hence the rest of the chapter just being about the reconciliation of the two as they just talk it out. The action is actually often where many of these moments shine. Sometimes it's just something simple, like a clever use of onomatopoeia. Like in chapter 571, having the boom from the Biju bomb cross over both pages to really give that extra oomph, or even in chapter 1, having the onomatopoeia serve as speed lines. Naruto is naturally the focal point of many of these, like the amazing double page spread in chapter 28, giving us 3 individual perspectives of his punch to Haku, in order to increase its dramatic weight and add a grander sense of power to the movement, helping showcasing the immense power of Kurama for the first time, especially punctuated by the onomatopoeia that travels between all 3 panels. And the panels not having any space between the cuts further cements this being the same punch just from different angles. Naruto's signature jutsu, the Sato clones, definitely allowed for some fun layouts. I love the Brady Bunch style action shot with Kimimaru as Ann B. Davis, but I especially love the page in chapter 134, Naruto's 2000 blows attack on Gaara, making Gaara the center of the page, almost the space in between the panels, and filling the other panels with the barrage of Naruto's just ganging up in the direction of the middle of the page. It's an excellent layout that takes full advantage of Naruto's abilities to create an exciting, awesome action shot. But Naruto's not the only one who gets awesome action sequences, as Minato from chapter 502 gets a really neat one. The top panels on each page here carry over a sense of flow and momentum to each other. With Minato's ability, the top 2 panels essentially follow each other in sequential order. The bottom half of the first page is basically just displaying Toby's internal thoughts during the encounter above, while also showcasing the next moment from his perspective where Minato teleports. This further conveys both the instantaneous movement and, more importantly, the small window of time Minato had to activate the ability, making the victory more impressive. Sometimes it's not the action that gets this treatment, but the prelude to action instead. Take chapter 437 for example, featuring Hinata's declaration of love to Naruto. Her confession is given a lot to make it stand out visually, most obviously with the panel itself featuring a close-up shot of Hinata with bold lines for her speech bubble to emphasize the power of her words. Yet it's more so how Kishimoto leads up to this moment by filling the previous page with smaller panels, mostly shifting between Hinata's memories of Naruto and increasingly close-up shots of Naruto's eyes, his gaze towards Hinata before the black space switches perspective to Hinata's aim towards Pain right before she makes her declaration that rarely seals the deal. This is effective in how it visually showcases the change in their dynamic, with Naruto now watching Hinata in action. While Hinata's speech on the previous page helps build up her confession on a textual level, the page being filled with several panels also builds up the importance of her confession on a visual level, since it provides a stark contrast with how much page space is dedicated to her confession. I also like that the two other panels are direct payoffs to the previous page, with Naruto's reaction to her confession and Hinata charging towards Pain. That's not the only way Kishimoto can make a scene impactful by playing with the panels. All the way back in chapter 4, Kishimoto does a great job in punctuating Sasuke's words, "to kill," by removing the borders entirely, giving it a large space to breathe with multiple reactions visible as opposed to the sort of close-up panels before it. The internal reactions afterward are also amusing, Naruto's is anyway. It also strangely sort of illustrates Sasuke opening up, considering how the two previous panels were boxing him in with closer shots. It's a smaller moment, and not on the same level as the others listed here, but I wanted to showcase that Kishimoto displayed this talent early on. That may be the earliest example, unless you count the onomatopoeia, but what is the best example? Well, for that we need to look towards the best character of Naruto, Gaara. Before I get to the actual best, the impetus of this video, I want to save a different great moment from chapter 262. The gradual transitions featured here, starting with two panels depicting Naruto's growing family with one lonely Gaara, to one lonely Gaara and an even bigger group for Naruto, finally down to just one full page spread of Gaara all alone. The picture content themselves never changes for Gaara, they just get more spread out, but mixing them in with Naruto conveys the length of time Gaara suffered alone, as do the panels themselves, as they play out like a countdown 3, 2, 1, with the increased size packing more and more of a punch. It's an excellent moment that really stands out, but like I said, this isn't the best example. That comes from chapter 138, and before I get into the manga exclusive stuff, just let me take a moment to express how well the parallel between the two is shown. The opposite result symmetry between Gaara and Naruto being detailed even in how they landed after the final blow. Or the shot near the end with Naruto lying in peace while Gaara's getting up, signifying where they are in terms of their journey, with Naruto having found love and Gaara beginning to accept it as a possibility again. But the pinnacle comes with these two pages. Not only is the storytelling symmetry effective and obvious here, though I particularly like how it snakes around, giving an almost cinematic transition to it. You can just imagine the close-up of Naruto's tears transitioning to Gaara's close-up cry. But the most brilliant thing is the page layout. Kishimoto could have laid these out on a two-page spread, making the story feel a bit more seamless like that, but instead they're laid out on different pages. Reading it digitally doesn't make the poignancy as obvious, but this means that these two flashback sequences are printed on the same paper. This means that the physical chapters themselves are used to subtly reinforce the idea that they're two sides of the same coin, or two sides of the same page in this case. It's an incredibly clever detail that really makes use of the medium in order to enhance the story. I may have missed out on the Sakuga of the anime, the OST's power to amplify the emotions of a scene. Lord knows Sorrow and Sadness could do that. Or some apparently good filler like the Kakashi Anbu arc, by choosing to read the manga, but I hope I proved that Naruto's manga had plenty of benefits to it that extended beyond simply having better pacing. Believe it!